Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be reacting to your guys' enclosure. I don't have anything in a specific order. I'm just gonna go by who sent what. I do have a few different kinds of enclosures. I didn't just restrict it to one kind. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and also please do not think I am judging you guys or anything like that. I made this video because I've seen other people do it and I like the idea of it. I like the idea of helping out others and also getting some ideas for my own enclosures. So this first enclosure is by Hamster Beans on Instagram. It's an 812 square meters of floor space, and it has 3 little bunkers that she can hide and sleep in, and it has over 10 inches of bedding on the deepest end. So first of all, I think that's great that you have 10 inches of bedding. A lot of people think that providing a few inches of bedding is enough, which it isn't. I personally have like 1 inch of bedding on this part of the enclosure, and then the rest I have about 6 or 7 inches of bedding, which I actually want to add more. I also love bin cages because I feel like a lot of people think that in order to have a nice setup you need to have a glass enclosure, which is not true. Bin cages are great and they're very affordable, and I do love that you have a bunch of stuff for her. I would personally add a lot more shoes just because I feel like it makes it look better, and I also like how you have a natural setup. This next enclosure is by Galarian Geckos, and I really hope that I'm saying these names right because if I'm not, I'm so sorry. This is her house geckos enclosure, and I think it's really pretty. I personally don't know that much about house geckos, but I think it would be nice to see more foliage around the cage. I don't know if that's something that you can do, but I really like it. This next enclosure is by K80 Skitters, and this is a crested gecko enclosure. It is an 18 by 18 by 24, and it has jungle mix bedding with a few isopods. It is an old National Geographic cage, and it's for an adult male crested gecko. So I really like how you have a lot in this enclosure. I like how you provided a hiding spot for it as well, and a lot of things that it can climb on. I would personally add maybe like a vine on the top to provide more for it to climb on, but I overall love it. I think it's really pretty. So this next enclosure is by Tiny Hamster Care, and it's a DIY IKEA Lindemann cage with 887 to 900 square inches of floor space. It has 8 inches of bedding on the left side and an 11-inch wheel, and her female Syrian hamster Pipsqueak lives in it. Honestly, this cage is amazing. I love how it's crowded but not too crowded, and I love how you provided a lot of things for her to do, and I love how you provided also a sand bath and an appropriate size wheel. I honestly would add maybe like 2 inches more of bedding if that's possible, because I know that Syrians love to burrow as well. For my Syrian hamster, I used to put a lot more bedding than that, and he honestly loved it. But I think overall your enclosure is really great, and I would probably also add some more shoes if you can. So this next enclosure is another crested gecko enclosure by Greta's Geckos, and this is for her adult female crested gecko, and it's a 20-gallon. I really like how you have a lot of foliage. I don't know if you have a hide for her, but I would personally add maybe a little hide, a coconut hide or something like that on the top that she can sleep in and stuff like that. My crested gecko loves it. Maybe one more thing that it could climb on the top. I feel like a lot of people forget to provide a lot on the top for them to do. And this next enclosure is by the Many Pets of Tess. She sent in a few. This is for her leopard gecko, and honestly I think looks amazing. If I'm not mistaken, her leopard gecko's tank is 30 gallons. It has a hot hide, a cool side, and a humid hide. She said that she plans on cluttering her cage a little more, which is great, and she plans on adding a hammock, which again I think is great. I don't own a leopard gecko, but I do want one, and I've done a lot of research. I don't really have much to add because you said that you want to clutter it. I overall think it's really great. Maybe add a background to it. I love to add backgrounds to my enclosures. I feel like it adds something to it, just like you did for your crested gecko. So this next enclosure is by Mango the Skink. The enclosure is a 48 by 18 by 18, which is equivalent to 60 gallons. And they have a ceramic bulb above the basking and the far left side of the frame. I honestly love how you have so much in here for Mango, and I think maybe you can add even more foliage on the back, or maybe a background, something where Mango could feel like it's more of a realistic environment. But I really love it, and I love the little hammock that you have in the corner. I think it's great. I don't really have anything to add. I also love the little cork hide. I think it looks great. This next enclosure is by Triple Luckies, and this is a Syrian hamster enclosure. It's 100 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters. Honestly, I think it looks really good. I don't really have that much to add. I love how you added so much bedding for your hamster. I also like the naturalistic setup. So this next enclosure is by Chipster the Hammy. This is for her hamster Bear, and Bear lives in a 75-gallon aquarium. He has lots of natural toys, chews, and hides. He has a 12-inch silent runner wheel and about 12 inches of bedding at the highest area. Honestly, I really love your enclosure. Your enclosure is one of my favorites. I love how crowded it is, and I love how natural everything looks. I also like how you added a lot of chews. I said it earlier, but chews are very important for their teeth, and I think it's great. Sometimes they don't like certain chews, so providing a lot of different chews gives them the opportunity to find one that they really like. And well, I also like how you have many hides, and your wheel is amazing. I love that wheel. I actually want to get one soon for Luna or for my next hamster, because I just bought her a wheel. But yeah, I really love your enclosure. She also sent in her Betta-Fish Lily's tank, which is a 10-gallon planted tank. It is filtered and heated. I really like this setup as well. I think you can actually add more water. You can fill it up to the top. That's personally what I do, to actually get the whole 10 gallons. But she said she also has a little Nerite snail, which is really cute. Kind of like what I have for Hamilton's tank. But I really love your tank, and that's just basically all I have to say. Maybe fill it up to the top. That would be really good for your Betta. This next enclosure is by Cat's Little Lizard. This is a 12 by 12 by 18 Exoterra for her juvenile Krusty, and she uses fake plants in a vine, and she uses Eco Earth as substrate, and there's an LED light at the top. So I really like your enclosure. I love how crowded it is. I really love crowded enclosures because I feel like it provides them like a more naturalistic setup, and it's really good for them. It makes them feel safe. I love how you provided a coconut hide. I actually have a coconut hide as well, and I think they're really great. I also love how you have vines. I keep saying this, but maybe you can add another vine at the top so that your Krusty can climb. I don't know if you want to take the one that's there and add it to the top. That would be really great. But I overall really love your enclosure. This next enclosure is by Give Me Guts. This is a corn snake enclosure. The corn snake has 2 water dishes, one big one on the right side. I really like your enclosure. I like how you have a lot in there, and I like how you also have a little bamboo bar on the top. Maybe you can add a little hanging plant on the right corner that's kind of empty there. I think that would be really good as well. But overall, I really love your enclosure. This next enclosure is by the Pete Association. This is Pete's enclosure. She has a crested gecko, and I honestly really like how creative this is. I like how you used the paper tubes to make like a little place so that it could climb, and I really like how you used all this naturalistic stuff. Personally, I would probably add a little more on the top, and that way it can like hide. Maybe also a coconut hide or some type of hide on the top so that he can sleep in and go into when he doesn't just want to be on the plants and stuff, so that it can rest on it. I think yours is really creative and I really like it. This next enclosure is by Most Lovable Pets, and I really like this enclosure, honestly. I like how natural it is. I can see that you have 3 different substrates, and I think that's really good. It provides your hamster with a lot of texture, which is great because out in the wild that's basically what they have. And I personally would maybe add a few chews. Maybe you can add some more hides into the bedding. I don't know if you've done that already because I can't tell, but I overall love this enclosure. I think it's very nice, and I love natural themed cages. This next enclosure is by Sam the Snack. I really like this enclosure. Like, I fell in love with it so much. It's a 40-gallon. It has orchard bark, and they use a heat emitter. I really love this enclosure because it's just like, the aesthetic is so nice, and I really love how it's crowded, like semi-crowded. And I love how it just looks so nice. I like how it looks like how their natural habitat would be. This next enclosure is by Luna Loves Bugs. This is her first bioactive leopard gecko enclosure. It has springtails and darkling beetles, and the second and third one are for her gargoyle geckos and crested gecko, and they're both getting bioactive rebuilds later on in the year, which is great. I honestly love your enclosure. Where are you going? So, like I was saying, I really love all of your enclosures. Like, I actually sent her a message telling her to help me on some ideas because I really love her enclosures. I love how you have so much stuff for them to do, and I also really like the little log kind of thing that's hanging. I don't know if that's like a hide, but I think it's super cute, and I really like how you have a lot of foliage in there and a lot of vines. And yeah, I don't really have much to add to this. I honestly think it's amazing, and I personally will use some of your ideas for my cage. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I was really nervous recording this because it's my first time kind of doing a video like this, but I really loved all your guys' enclosures, and if I missed anyone, I'm so sorry, but I will add you guys to my next video if I do make one. And I hope that you guys don't get bothered by anything I said. Yeah. So I really love your enclosures, and hopefully I can use some of those ideas for mine, and hopefully it helps other people get some ideas as well. So thank you guys once again. Bye.